Talk to him. Say, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. We went from the chicken spot to shrimp and lobster. I keep the goons with me living like a mobster, cause niggas try to turn my brain into pasta. What's the vibes, YouTube? You tune in to Living on the Humble TV. And on this episode, we're gonna be talking about what led to me going to Rikers Island for the first time. I know I'm in my car today, y'all. I'm normally in my little spot in the crib, but I'm over here at the gym. So I'm gonna be telling this story from my car today, right? So what led to me going to Rikers Island for the first time, right? So if you tuned into my platform, you'll see I posted my first video of the first time me going to Rikers Island, right? So I want to make a little disclaimer about my videos, right? I'm just starting this new journey on YouTube, and everything that I'm doing is self-made. So I might make a few mistakes, like in my first couple of videos that I post or whatever. It might be times where I'm a little all over the place. You know, I try to like structure everything as much as possible, but sometimes me trying to structure everything and make everything perfect, it get a little frustrating. So sometimes you gotta just tell these stories soon as they hit. Like, as soon as it come to mind, you gotta hurry up and get it out there. So with that being said, I'm gonna need y'all to like, share, subscribe, and help me push these videos out into the algorithm, right? So let's jump into it, right? What led up to me going to the island for the first time. So on this day, right? It was August 18th, 2011, right? I had violated my probation, right? I caught a violation on probation or whatever. Remember in one of the other stories I told you, I had caught a petty robbery case. And on that case, I ended up taking 3 years probation. So I was on papers from that case, right? So now let's fast forward to the 18th, right? So it's August 18th, the end of the summer. My mom's just pregnant with my little sister. I violate probation. So my probation officer, she gives me a program. The reason why I love my probation officer is because no matter how much I violated and how much problems I gave her during my time on probation, it's like she had a soft spot for me, and she knew that I had potential to be something in life. So she never really wanted to violate me. So instead of her like violating me and sending me back to jail, she would give me programs, right? So she'd give me program after program after program. And on this particular night, or on this day, I should say, I was supposed to enroll into the program, right? It was a program that she sent me to. It was called Daytop. It's a few of these rehabilitation programs out there, but this specific one was in, I think, Far Rockaway, Queens, like on Beach Channel Road, Beach 60 or something like that. So she sent me out there. So me and my mom, we go out there for the registration and everything. They could get me signed up in the shit. So the agreement was for me to do the minimum time there, because like the violation that I had, it was required for me to do like the minimum time that they had for the program. So the minimum time was for the go away people, because I was all right, you got the program Daytop, then they got like facilities like upstate New York. So like if your class, like jail, if your classification is high or is a certain type of, or if your illnesses or whatever you got going on is that severe, they'll send you to one of the spots upstate. So being that I couldn't lay off the weed, my PO, she requested for me to go upstate. I didn't know this. I just knew that I had to go to the Daytop or whatever and do, you know what I mean, a couple months there, 12 months to be exact. So I get there. We get to the intake process where my mom's just filling out the paperwork and everything. And as she filling out the paperwork, they telling her the stipulations, you know, like what's gonna be going on and how I'm gonna be spending my time. So I was informed that I was doing a year, 12 months at the daytop program. When I get there and they start classifying me, they tell my moms that I'm gonna be going upstate in 2 weeks. So I'm like, upstate? I'm like, I thought I was gonna be doing a program here. So they like, nah, you're gonna be going upstate for 12 to 24 months. So I was misinformed. I heard 12 months and I thought that was the minimum. Like that's what I was gonna be doing in the program. I didn't want to do that, but I kind of accepted that. Like, all right, I could do 12 months. But it was 12 to 24 months. So when I heard that shit kind of turned my stomach. I was like, nah, I ain't really with that. So my mom, she's crying. Because my mother know me. She already know, like, I ain't jacking that. So my mom, she crying. I'm a little frustrated, you could tell. So as she filling out the paperwork, they was like, you could start shopping for him a coat. So when they said that, I'm like, a coat? I'm like, it's August. I'm like, what she mean a coat? So then she started explaining, like, you know, when they go upstate, you know, it might be cold. So, you know, you want to, you know what I mean, dress warm, dress for the weather or whatever. So I'm like, nah, I ain't jacking that. So we get through the whole intake process or whatever. My mom's filling out the paperwork and shit. So now it's time for her to go. So she leave me, right? She leave me. First thing I do when she leave, right? I put my stuff down. I go find the room that they gave me. I put my stuff down. The phones ain't even work. That's another reason too I knew I wasn't staying in that program. I'm walking around like the corridor. They had the phones on the hook. Like you could just pull a phone off the hook and use it. None of the phones worked in the facility. Like none of the phones worked. So that was a red flag for me right there too. I was like, all right, the phones ain't working. How I'm gonna call my peoples? This ain't gonna work for me. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So I get to the cafeteria part of the facility, right? So I get there. So now I'm just looking around. I'm really looking for an exit out. I'm looking for the first exit out so I can get up out of there. Because I already knew. I was like, y'all gonna have to send me to jail. I'm not doing this program. There's a bunch of junkies in here. It's not for me, right? So how ironic is it that as I'm walking around, filling the place out, I runs into an elderly lady. So I begin to talk to the lady. Well, she actually started the conversation with me because I guess my frustration, it was seeping out. So she came to me and she was like, "You look like you don't want to be here." So I was like, "Facts, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't even think this type of place is for me." So she started asking me a bunch of questions about how I ended up there and what they had me there for. So I started telling her, you know, I got mandated through my probation officer. I'm here because I smoke weed. I smoke a lot of weed. So once I told her that, she was like, yeah, this ain't really the spot for you. Because at that spot, it was a bunch of like, it was really a drug rehabilitation program. So it was people that was on like meth, crack cocaine, heroin, shit like that. So I'm like, I smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't never feel like it was that serious for me to have to go and do a whole program for 2 years for some weed. You feel what I'm saying? So now fast forward a little bit, right? This story is kind of like a 2-in-1 type of story because it coincides. You feel what I'm saying? So that's part one of it, right? Me getting enrolled into the rehabilitation program, right? So yeah. It's one more part to that story. So boom. So she tells me how I'm not supposed to be there, whatever. So once she said that, that was like the icing on the cake for me. I already knew, like, all right, I'm finding a way out of here, right? And this is not my first time of me AWOLing a drug rehabilitation program. I got another story about how I AWOLed the program in Queens. I'm gonna get to that story too at a later time. But Yeah. So what happened? What happened? Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, so the lady, she telling me how I'm not supposed to be there, whatever. So, like I said, that was the icing on the cake for me. That's all I needed to hear. So, by the grace of God, right, where she's talking to me at, it's like a court. It's like the entrance to the building. Yeah, it's like the entrance to the building, but it's like a courtyard. You feel what I'm saying? It's been a long time, so I might be explaining the place wrong. But if from what I can remember, it's like a courtyard. But I know on the outside, like, all right, so boom. I'm talking to the lady. She spin off. So when she spin off, one of the staff people is coming inside the door. So when she's coming in, right, she has to use like an ID badge or a card to get inside the building. So when she came inside the building, the door is closing slow. It's closing slow. As she's coming in, I slide right out. So now I'm inside the little courtyard joint, like in front of the building. So now, once that door closed, this is the catch to it. Once that door closed, there's no way back into the building unless somebody got the pass, right? So now I'm just stuck outside in the yard. So now I'm looking around, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get out of the yard. So on this day, it's raining, it's muggy, it's real nasty outside. I turn, it's a big gate. It's a gate there. The whole building is gate. It's like jail, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like the whole shit is surrounded by gate. I start climbing the gate. I got slippers on, I got sweatpants on and a sweater. I start climbing the gate, right? Climb the gate. The gate was so sharp at the top, I end up cutting the whole inside of my hand, right? So I clear the gate. I get over the gate. So once I get over the gate, I just start running. I'm running for dear life. I'm just running, right? So as I'm running, I see a dude on a bike.